Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Couch Coaches. I'm John Lazaron. I'm joined by my co-host, Richard Laddie. So, I was hoping to do this a bit more enthusiastic, but I am still feeling pretty grumpy after yesterday. It's been about, 36 hours after I just witnessed the worst game of footy, one of the worst games of footy I've ever seen the Warriors play. And I've seen a lot of bad Warriors games. And yeah, I'm still struggling to just what happened. It was terrible, man. I'm gonna let you speak first because I'm still feeling a little bit, yeah. I can't even get the words out, mate.
Look, it wasn't great, but I don't know if I'd call it like I've seen a lot worse than that from the Warriors.
No, it was bad.
I think it was a lot of the problem with it was the anticipation around it, the fact it's round one. We wanted to see how some of these new guys sort of went in their new sort of leadership roles. But yeah, it was just that first half. I texted you at halftime, John, just said,
Yeah.
God, like maybe this isn't our year after all. And then they didn't really fill me with that heap of confidence in the second round. I'm hopeful. I'm crossing my fingers that it's just a bit of first round nerves, and they kind of. I think a lot of it was they got caught up in the occasion. But yeah, it definitely wasn't the start of the season that you and I both predicted, and I'm sure they'll be going to the drawing board for the next 11, 12 days and really figuring out what they did wrong and what they can change.
Bro, you're being too nice, to be honest. You're being too nice. Like you said, I was anticipating a really, really great game, and not just because just for the occasion, but also because I expected the Warriors to put out a really good show. A good game of footy, but it was all over the place. From the mistakes they're making, they were letting the Raiders offload the ball so easy. They weren't wrapping their arms around in the tackles, and the Raiders would 9 offloads in the first 18 minutes. That's crazy. And that's just crazy. And what it was doing, it was running our forwards ragged, and they were tired. And then they were able to pierce the gaps and get through. That's why they were making so many breaks. It was ridiculous. Our defense was really, really, really awful. If I'm going to be truthfully honest with you, yeah, it was just going nowhere. There was no vision. Our kicking was horrendous. A lot of hopes for Metcalf, and we had Harris Tabita there as well. And he's experienced enough. He's young, but he's been there a while now. And the kicking was appalling. Especially our last tackle kicks. They were just going straight to the. It was like there wasn't much of a kick chase. There was, on the odd occasion, yes, but there wasn't much of a kick chase. There was just something that was appalling, and we were outplayed by the Raiders in every aspect of the game. Like, you got to give credit to the Raiders, but we did make them look good a bit as well. But they played it to perfection against us. And I think what the worrying thing for me is that it's just a continuation from last season. The same issues that we had last season. Defense going, when we were in their half, down in their red zone, as they call it now, we weren't able to execute any plays. Like, it was like, you want to feel confident that your team can actually put a play on and score. But for me, it's more like every time they get down there, it's like, oh, it's like a hope. I really hope they do something here. But they just keep watching, they just keep stuffing it up every time, and it was ridiculous. It's like they didn't know what they were doing. There was no vision. And yeah, that's for me. I just remember at halftime going, "What the heck am I watching here?" And it didn't help the fact as well is that like, again, you were talking about the hype. There was a lot of hype around this game. A lot of Warriors fans went over there and stuff, and maybe the occasion got to them. I don't know, but I was expecting a big turnout. I went and watched it at the old Four Kings in on Wellington City on Dixon Street, and I got there early because I was anticipating a big, massive crowd to be in there. I walked in. I was the only person in there. I was about an hour before kickoff, and I was sitting there, and I was thinking, and I had two mates join me later on. They didn't come at the same time I did. I went there to go save the table. Oh, there were plenty of tables because I was the only one there. And in the end, there were a few people that came along there just before kickoff, but it was just a dismal day all round for me personally, watching that and being in there. And I wanted to do some content for our show here, and ask some people some questions after the game. There was no one to talk to, so it was just
We got a hot take out of you at the end of that, John. So that's all the punters want sometimes.
Yeah,
there was you look around the field, and I think both sides of the ball there was plenty of questions. I think you talked about the kicking before. I think neither. I think the problem is that it's been talked about a bit in the last sort of 24 hours, is that the Metcalf and Harris Tavita are both running 5'8", like neither of them's really traditionally been sort of the leader and playing that kicking game. And we didn't really see Metcalf run the ball at all. Like Harris Tavita had a couple of nice little touches, little runs. He probably looks the more dangerous of the two, I thought. But he still had a few issues. I mean, the fact that Dylan Walker was the first one to, he put a little kick through, and he was the first one to force a line dropout, sort of spoke wonders for the fact of just the lack of direction and the kicking.
Yeah.
Was the whole switcheroo with the forward pack in the first half, Jackson Ford being sort of promoted to prop, and didn't pay off. I think it's safe to say. Like, I mean, no, he tried, but like he just doesn't have the size of a prop.
Yeah.
And especially playing against the likes of sort of Tapine, Horsburgh, and Papali'i, who Tapine in particular probably one of the top sort of 3 or 4 props in the game, I reckon. And then Papali'i just like one of the most experienced props in the game. So between those two, and then Horsburgh seems to be I think he's set for a big season, I reckon. So yeah, just there was a few little issues around the place. A couple other players who, we talked about last week. So I thought we both had sort of Nukuri on our watch list of a player who really needs to step up. I think I was pretty surprised to see him get the starting jersey, and he didn't really do much to sort of warrant keeping that jersey. I mean, how long are we going to persist with this? I think he was disappointing the whole of last season. He just kicks. Obviously, he's an international player. He's got a big rep in him. They're paying him a lot of cash. But yeah, at what point do you just say, hey, look, let's put you on the bench, or let's just drop you for a game to put you in New South Wales Cup and see if you can get some confidence up? Because we know he's a good player, but he just looks a shell of the player he was in 2023 in particular, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I mean, good point. And, speaking of, persisting or persevering with players, how long are we going to persevere with the fullback position? Because, I mean, over the past 2 seasons, there's been a lot of talk. Just hear this.
It's a motorbike. There's a motorbike outside. Yeah, I could see your face.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? Yeah, I was like, where's that noise coming from? Oh, well. Sorry, guys. Richard's part of a motorbike club. I don't know what's going on back there. He's in Wongers, so I don't know. But no, sorry. Basically, what I was getting at is that there's all the talk about loyalty. Webster being loyal to Chance having that fullback spot, but how long do you persevere with that? Because it's not working. It's not. I mean, I know that Chance, he makes a lot of meters. I'm a fan of him, so I'm not trying to have a go at him here. But I just think that there's better players that could fit the role, and we both know who those players are. And I had this hot take, and I said this. If you guys haven't seen it, I did a little video. You can see it on our pages, on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook channel, about a hot take about we need to change. We need to make a change there. Tuapiki, I believe needs to go at the back. And the only reason why I say that, I'm not saying that he's ahead of Roger, is because I think that Roger will be better placed on the wing than Tuapiki. That's what I mean by that. So I think Tuapiki needs to. I think he'll be better on there. I mean, when I saw Chance, when he took that ball, when it led to their try in the second half, where he when he dropped down, he didn't jump in the air. He waited for it, and it went really low. And then I don't know what was going on there. The player was too close for him to do that. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was thinking at the time. I know it's easier said than done for us. It's easier for us to say that. But, as a professional player, he is, and with all that experience, you would think that he would be jumping for the ball when the player's coming through that quickly. And, look what happened. So I just think that, I think that Webster needs to make a change and stop with this loyalty stuff. And he needs to make a change and bring back a winning team, a winning formula. Yeah, that I would honestly bring. I'll make that change quickly, immediately.
The problem with that change at the moment is, who do you put on the wing? Do you put Leotoa on the wing with Roger, and then do you put Chance in the centres with Pompey?
Yeah, well, I actually thought, you either have there's a few options. For example, I wrote down a couple you could have Pompey on the one wing. I don't know if he's ever played wing, but then you have Chance and Leotoa in the centres, or, even giving Nukuri. Marata Nukuri a shot in the centres. He's played there quite a few times. I don't know how fit he is or fast he is these days, but Yeah, that's how we're doing. I had Roger at one wing as well, and Tuapiki at the back. That's how I would do it. I want to hear your thoughts on the half situation. You did mention, Harris Tavita and Luke Metcalf, but one of the big talking points right now is does there need to be a change made immediately in regards to that? Where does Luke Metcalf have to go into 5'8", and you either put Tyrone Martin into number 7 or a fit Tanner Boyd? I don't know how far away he is from injury, because from coming back. Sorry, because he's injured. I don't know how far away he is, but I think that once he's fit, he would be a pretty more suited number 7, and because of the fact that his kicking game as well. I mean, what are your thoughts there as well? Just to elaborate more on that.
Oh, I'm happy to give them another shot. I think Metcalf, from what I saw Metcalf in the trials, I think he was playing more like a 7. He was looking a lot more comfortable kicking the ball. I think he got a 40-20 in each game, which is huge. I don't think we had a 40-20 in the whole of last season. So yeah, I'm happy to give them another shot. But they just need to figure out what their roles are, because I think, as I said before, they're both sort of generally running sort of 5'8". So if Metcalf can get given the reins fully, I don't think they're going to. I think it's his jersey for now. They're not going to just drop him after one game. So I want to see those two there. But yeah, I need to see more leadership from Metcalf, and probably more free reign for Harris Tavita to actually use that running game a little bit. And when he put Boyd to ball, he had some really nice touches as well. So there's a lot to like about that pair. Obviously, I think I had Tanner Boyd at starting in the halves at the start of the season. I thought if he was fit, he probably would have got to go. But even though they weren't great, I think, if you're going to, Harris Tavita was the better of the two, I thought, quite clearly. But I'm happy to give them both another shot. And I think, it's Tamari Martin. You could even put Tamari Martin at the back. He played fullback in that second trial match, and he looks more than comfortable there. So
yeah,
there's options, but it's just people just really need to start stepping up and cementing their jerseys.
Look, I know it's easy to say, look, it's just one game in, so you're going to get, guys, they might be a bit rusty, but for me, the issue all around here is the fact that it seems just like the same old Warriors from last season, and that was a disaster. You know what I mean? That's why I'm very animated about all this at the moment. That's why I was expecting something different, different leadership, new players on board, and, Luke Metcalf is not a new player, but he's taking on, he's filling the boots with Sean Johnson, and I just thought it would be just a different dynamic and all round in this game. But it just seemed like exactly the same as last year. That's why for me it's like it's a quick red flag. It's like no, you need to sort this out now, because this is just the same things you did last year. Let's talk about the plays, for example. A lot of the plays they did, a lot of cutting. One player will take the ball up and then they'll just cut in, and it wasn't doing anything. The opposition was reading it really easily. And again, going on the offloads, I'm sure that every team that was watching that game would just look at that and say, okay, we need to offload against the Warriors, because the Canberra Raiders were able to do it with ease, and it just tired the forwards out. And don't get me started on the rotation of the bench, because I don't even know why Webster made that change with Jackson forward. It made no sense. Why would you put Barnett, who's a shining light in the front row, into lock where he's not? That's not a great position for him. It's not his position. He's not a play. He doesn't have playmaker ability. I mean, we saw that when he tried to do that little chip and chase. He tried to do a little chip and chase at the end. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. And it was one that wasn't as much. Yeah, it was probably the least effective I've seen him in a year. The game he played, he just couldn't stamp his mark on the match.
Exactly. So that's my point. A number 13 is, though the fact that they're in the forward pack, they still have to have a bit of a like a playmaking ability, like Tohu Harris, or sticking names. I don't know why.
I think that the most bizarre thing about it was that we had two pretty much specialist locks on the bench. You had Aaron Clark and Dylan Walker there.
Yep.
If you're going to do that, and drop one of them off the bench and bring in like a utility, bring in Sam Healy or something like that. But yeah, it was.
Agree.
There was obviously some logic behind it, but it was hard to see what it was.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. It was bizarre, right? We don't know what his reasoning behind it was really, but it was just so bizarre. And not only that, Jackson Ford stayed on for quite long periods of time. He must have been buggered They were
I think
running all around us.
He played the first 54 minutes or something. Yeah, huge.
Something
huge,
like that. I can't remember the minutes. But, I mean, good on him for doing that, but that's not what you do with the front row forward. You don't do that with the front row forward, and it was bizarre. Webster's rotations. So, again, let me say it again. That late change of putting Jackson Ford into the front row and putting Barnett into lock, it's not his position. He doesn't have those skills that that a lock needs. Right there, putting him into 30 when you've got Dylan Walker and Aaron Clark on the bench, it made no sense to me. And he brought on the youngsters that were on the bench. He brought them on too late. It was just ridiculous. And so honestly, I think as much as a fan of Webster that I am, I thought he needs to put his hand up because he stuffed a lot of things up himself when it came to the logistics of the game in terms of rotation of the bench and everything and starting lineup. I just think he got it all wrong. He got it all wrong.
Yeah, well, I think there's obviously a game plan which they just didn't play to, I think, and it really showed. I think I checked before. Jackson Ford played the first 51 minutes. So just a huge shift for a front rower to play.
Yeah.
Not just the first half, but the first 11 minutes, the second half as well. But it just didn't pay off. I think Vamoaga played the last 14 minutes, so he didn't come on until 66 minutes down. We were about 20 points down by that point.
What's the point of having them there?
What's the point? What's the point? Halasima played a few more. I think he got about 25 odd minutes. But even then, I feel like I didn't see him as much as the couple of those games last year where he came on. He really had some influence, and you really just.
Yeah,
you noticed he was there. I felt like I didn't notice he was there until about the final 10 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, he's playing, isn't he? So
that's
he
right,
just didn't have some of those magic touches. So it was frustrating. I mean, do you think it's a sign of things to come for 2025, John?
I hope not. I really hope that they address all of this immediately. They address all these problems because you don't have to be. I mean. You don't have to be in the game like a coach or anything. You can be couch coaches, as most of us are. You can be. You don't have to be an actual genuine coach to figure out that the problems that happened on the day were a continuation from last season, and we all know what those problems are. Rotations and stuff. The halves weren't gelling together. Things like that. The kicking was appalling. The execution of our last tackles in the end zone and the opposition's end zone, all that sort of stuff. It was just, Canberra, they had no shot. Warriors had no shot. And that was the hard thing to watch about it. They just had no shot. Watching it, you just knew they weren't in the game at all. And it's against Canberra too. Not trying to put them down, but it's not like it was like Broncos or anything. It was Canberra. And it was just embarrassing. Yeah, it was just embarrassing.
They played a good game plan. They stuck to the game plan. It just shows what happens, and they utilised some of the pace of that wide. That's Xavier Savage. He's a quick man. Yeah. So as you know, John, they're one of my second favourite team, the Raiders.
But you got them as spooners.
You had them as spooners. Spoon, but maybe the Warriors will be spoon after that performance. I think we will get better. I did before I was doing my prep for the podcast, I was just umming and ahhing about a few things, and so I went to my good friend ChatGPT. It's for my new segment, for this year. So my question this week was, what changes do the Warriors need to make after their loss in Vegas? So this is what ChatGPT said in response to that. What changes need to be made?
Do the voice too.
The New Zealand Warriors 30-8 defeat to the Canberra Raiders in Las Vegas highlighted several areas that needed improvement. Hearts combination. The new pairing of Luke Metcalf and Chanel Harris-Tavita struggled to ignite the attack. Reassessing this combination of considering Tamari Martin, who was left out, might provide better direction. There you go. Number 2. Defensive solidity. Conceding 5 tries and missing 40 tackles indicates defensive lapse. Strengthening defensive structures and communication is essential. So 40 tackles.
40 tackles.
No. Number 3, forward dominance. The forwards were out-muscled, limiting momentum. Enhancing physicality and aggression in the pack could really rectify this. Hard to disagree there. And number 4, adaptability to conditions. Teams seemed unsettled by a Las Vegas setting. There you go. Focusing on mental preparation and adaptability to different environments is crucial. Addressing these issues is vital before the next match against the Manly Sea Eagles. So it's hard to sort of argue. ChatGPT's got a few good points there, problems in the halves, the defense, the forwards been a bit more aggressive and adapting to conditions, and where the team was unsettled by the Vegas. So maybe they've been listening to our little chat here and brought some of that into their answer. But I'm sure Andrew Webster will be on ChatGPT or for the next 12 days, typing in various sort of combinations of who he should be starting with and all sorts. But that's Ask ChatGPT for this week.
Yeah, I'm about to say I'm really liking the segment. So just for those who haven't heard it, can you just explain what this is, just so they know?
Oh, each week I'm going to ask ChatGPT, a good friend, just a question about probably the Warriors most of the time, maybe the wider NRL stuff, we'll get into it, but just to kind of get to the bottom of the Warriors issues. So last week I asked if it is the Warriors year, and they said that the Warriors will probably finish between 7th and 12th. So I think
I'll take that for now.
Yeah, be happy with that.
Yeah, no, awesome, mate. I mean, 40 tackles, it's ridiculous, eh? And like I was saying before, I'm just repeating myself here, but it's just one of the things that I was thinking of when I was watching the game is that when they were just offloading with ease, that other clubs would be watching this game. Other clubs will be analysing this game, and they'll see that there's a bit of a blueprint there to play against the Warriors, to run them ragged. So they need to do something about that. I mean, 40 missed tackles, and when they were making the tackles, they weren't controlling the ball, controlling the ruck speed, because the Canberra Raiders were able to get away so quickly as well. So that's a big concern for me in terms of because if you've got no defense and you've got no attack, what have you got? When you've got none of those things, what have you got? And speaking of attack, for example, there was just things that were frustrating me on the day is when they did actually shift the ball out wide a bit. Like, I remember I'll give you an example, one play where I can't remember who passed it to Pompey, but Pompey was the receiver of the ball, and he had a little bit of space, meaning if he just made one more pass to his winger, which was Roger would have a lot of space in front of him, but he decided to take the hit-ups instead. I didn't understand what was the need for, I've got the ball, I need to take the hit-up, when there was actually space on your player on your right. They actually created some space there, and they never used it. That was getting me frustrated as well on the day. I mean, that's just one example. There were probably many more, but it was just one example I just remember in my head is that Pompey had the ball, and all he had to do was pass it to Roger, and he just took the hit up himself. It was just stupid, idiotic play.
I felt there's definitely probably 3 or 4 times where that happened. Someone would make a break and then just will go inside instead of going outside. Yeah, they just added to the lack of direction on attack. But look, I don't know if we're gonna fix the Warriors. Those of you who listened to the podcast last year will remember our Well EM section. And I know you didn't want to do it. I know that you didn't want to do it this week because you thought that no one deserved any points and everyone was so atrocious. But I'm pushing for it. We're going to give our 3, 2, 1 points to the Warriors players for the week.
I've already got my 3 points anyway.
Yeah. So should we start with 3 then? I'm gonna give it to Roger Tulas. Yeah, I thought he was a shining light. Obviously he did have that knock on for that try, but it would have been it wasn't easy. But he got over for another try. He looks dangerous with his ball in hand and made some good meters, and I like the look of him on the wing. So he gets my 3 points.
Yep. Okay, for me, 3 points went Dylan Walker. I'll speak more about this in my hot take, later on. But 3 points to Dylan Walker. I just think he was one of the more impacting players, especially when he came from the bench. He made a bit of an impact. I know he didn't make an impact in terms of the scoreboard or anything like that, but things were a bit more fluent around him, despite the fact that when it wasn't that great. But it was better when he was on. If that makes more sense. So 3 points to Dylan Walker for me.
I'll give 2 to James Fisher-Harris, the Fish. I thought it's in a game where our forwards weren't offering a lot. I think he really brought some aggression that a few of the other players perhaps didn't. I did have some stats written down here. So he had 108 metres of 13 runs with 64 post-contact metres. Obviously, we used to always talk a lot about Fanua Blake and his post-contact metres. So good to see we might not be missing that this year. And he got 32 tackles as well. Only one error and get away a penalty. So not a flawless game, but in a game where there wasn't that many positives, I thought he looks really good and looks happy to be there. Although he's probably might be questioning some of his life decisions after leaving the 4-time premiership winners Panthers to come play for us.
I was just gonna say, I mean, this must be a bit of a shock for him, right? Gone from a team that's just won 4 premierships in a row. I mean, I can't remember if another club has done that, maybe back in the old days. But, going from that to this, and I didn't see much of him do much, but then when you bring up those stats, it just proves my thoughts wrong there. But workhorse, a bit of a workhorse. But imagine going from a side that had a winning blueprint. They just know how to win. A side that just knows how to get out of trouble. A side that knows how to make something happen, to a side that they were just lost. Yeah. Look, there was questions all around.
He knew what he was, stepping to. So I'm sure that
he did, but still
not too shocked about it. And as Auntie got engaged at half time, so shout out to Rose Fisher Harris.
Yes, that's right. So my 2 points goes to Roger Tuvasashik. I thought, for a losing cause, he did pretty well. Got a try as well. Nearly got 2. Nearly got 2 tries there. But yeah, I think, stays there or he goes to fullback. I don't think you could either play him in any other position besides fullback or wing. And like I said earlier before, I'd rather just have Tuapiki there just because Roger's a bigger body, probably be better in the wing. But that's my 2 points.
And for me, I'm giving 1 to Harris Tavita. It was a tough snap over him and Pompey, so Pompey gets my my honourable mention.
Yeah.
But I thought Harris Tavita was the better of 2 halves. Obviously, once again, not a perfect performance, but there was enough there for me to enjoy. Got 22 tackles. I think he kicked about the same amount of times as Metcalf, and had a couple of really nice touches with running the ball. So, I hope he gets another shot, and him and Metcalf can really work on that combination and make that 6 and 7 jerseys their own.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. My 1 point goes to my boy Tuapiki. He's always one of my favourites, and just purely for the for the heart he's showing and the manner that he was showing in the game. Like, smaller body, but he never gave up. He still took the hits, when he needed to and stuff. There are some points where he got hit hard, but he still got back up on his feet, kept going. So purely, mainly just for that reason, because it was, to be honest with you, it was really hard to come up with points for players, especially when it's like you're giving points away for the amazing game that they played, but it was just an awful game all round. But managed to get 3-2-1 there. So those are my points for the Walliams for this round, for round number 1 of the 2025 season.
Roger is the early leader with 5 points, and then James Fisher Harris with Dylan Walker with 3, Fisher Harris with 2, and then Harris Tavita and Tuapiki with 1. So Roger's got the early lead. So we'll see if he can hold on to that for the rest of the season.
Yep, nice. Well, as you know, some of you might have watched this video, but I did a video, like a post-match sort of reaction hot take video. I wasn't as animated, and I tried to be calm about it all, and it's finally let it all out tonight. But it's my hot take there was on the whole fullback situation. I just think, as much as good of a player chance as I think he's done his time at fullback. I think you need to put someone who's better there. That's what professional sport's about. If someone's better in a position, you've got to put them there. Sometimes it doesn't work for someone else, and I think in this situation it's his time. We went through a whole season with him being at fullback, and despite the fact that he's a workhorse, made close to 150, 200 meters every game. Awesome. He can still do that at centre. Chance can still do that at centre. So I think that needs to be changed. But that's not my hot take for right now. My hot take, and it's pretty simple, but I think it's a big one, that Dylan Walker needs to come in at lock, starting at lock. He needs to have that number 13 jersey on his back. And that's my hot take for this. And I think, and the reason why I say that is because he may not be a genuine forward, but he knows how to take a hit. He can take a hit up. We've seen it. He can take a hit up. He's defensively sound. He's fast, and he's got a playmaker's ability. And that's what you want in a lock, someone that can do all that. And every time he gets on the field, we saw this last season as well. It's not just in the game we saw yesterday. It was last season as well. He makes an impact. He makes a big impact. And not just that, he has a good vision for the game. He's been around for how many years? He's got a good vision for the game. And I just think that he needs to start. Nothing against Aaron Clark. I just think Aaron Clark should be better coming off the bench. And I think Dylan Walker needs to start. The problem with the Warriors, and look, you're more than happy for everyone to disagree with me on this, including yourself, Richard. But I just think that the Warriors have always been slow starters. They're always chasing the game. Like if they win games, it's because they make a comeback. It's always the game gets away from them at the start, like the opposition always scores. And I think it's because they don't always have the right people in the field. And I think if you've got Dylan Walker in there, I'm not saying he's gonna change everything, one person. I'm just saying that you're gonna make changes and to make this speed up the game a bit. And I think him being there will help speed up the game because he can help the halves that we have. Because we don't have star halves. Like, we don't have the Nathan Clearys, We don't have that Adam Reynolds on our side. We don't have those sort of guys on our side. So I think he needs to be there to assist playmakers. So that is my hot take. What do you think of my hot take, mate? Dylan Walker needs to start at 13.
When we did our teams at the start of the year, I had him starting 13, so I'm hard to disagree with you there. I think so on that point about the Warriors starting slow, even if they do start fast, they'll then slow down and let a team get back into. I think about the amount of times that we'll get up by sort of 2 or 3 tries early in the game, and then we'll just kind of like that middle section of the game. Yeah, so I think it's more the problem is playing for the full 80 minutes. But yeah, I mean, I think that he should be there. Aaron Clark on the bench, and then whatever else they sort of do there, I'm more than happy. I think he's more than proven himself. He's come out this week and said he wants to stay here for another year or 2 as well, which is good because obviously he's getting a little bit older, so slowly but surely, but
still got a little
just, I mean, we've talked a lot about this game, but just what changes would you be making? I think the Warriors play Manly in about 11 or 12 days. What changes are you making for that game back at the Fortress in Mount Smart Stadium?
I've sort of listed some players down that I would think, it's not too big of a change, but I would bring, as I mentioned before, I'd have Tuapiki at fullback. I would have just from what players are available at this moment, because Rocco Berry, injured, etc. I would have Pompey on the wing, Chance at centre, Leotua at centre, Roger still on the wing. How far? I mean, are you able to answer this question? I don't know. How far is Tana Boyd away? I don't know how far away he is. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know how severe his injury is. But okay, put it this way. Yeah, I'll be putting Metcalf at 6, and I'll be putting either Tamari Martin or Tana Boyd at 7. So one of those players, depending on the injury, depending on how far away Tana Boyd is, those 2 players would be probably locked in for 7 for me. James Fisher-Harris stays there, Egan stays there, Barnett goes back to 10. He goes back to his front row position where he should be. I would actually put Jacob Laban in the second row. I think, that'll be a popular opinion with you because I know that he's your boy. Yep, Jacob Laban. But I think I don't know, I'm not sure how far away he is, but he would be there for me if he's available. Cakewell, he scored a try last night. Yesterday. I mean, I still have him there. I still think he's, him having a bit of experience, having an experienced head there is going to help. But yeah, I bet that some of those young guys are knocking on the door, starting in his position. Walker, as I mentioned, at 13, I'd have him as lock. And for my 17, the bench, I'd have Sam Healy in there. I'd get him in there. Give him a go. I like what I saw during the trials. He was quick. He was quick and he was able to play at speed in terms of the ruck. Like, he was when the opposition went back 10 meters, he knew when the right time to pick the ball. He had a good passing game on him. Sam Healy, Halasima, Dimitrik, and Yeah, I wasn't sure Niokore or I wasn't sure if Niokore should be there or not. I don't know. He hasn't proven anything to me so far. I know it's been one game. I know it sounds so harsh saying all this when it's only been one game in, but you don't want to persevere with all these things and then come down 10 rounds into the game, then you start changing and then it might be too late. You know what I mean? I want changes done now because they're just playing like the Warriors of 2024. So yeah, those are the changes I would make. So it's pretty similar, but there are a few positional changes there. And I would have Jackson Ford not even in the 17 for me. What about
Yeah,
yourself?
relatively similar. Yeah, Mitch Barney back to prop, Walker to 13, no Neil Corey either to the bench or drops. I imagine they'll still keep him there, like he's still experienced but at least just put him on the bench will just be a bit of a tap on the shoulder just to say, hey mate, like, we need a bit more from you and hopefully there's a bit of push at the bummy needs. Yeah, happy to chuck Laban in there to start and I don't mind the shout. Yeah, I mean I think they obviously put him on a massive pedestal. He was a rookie of the year last year. Got a heap of game time last year, so it just seems a bit bizarre.
Yeah,
Like from what I can see, I did some searching around, didn't look like he was injured at all. So they just, for whatever reason, fell off the pecking order. But I think he seems to be. I think he's probably the best suited of some of those young guys to start as well. With especially Alasima if he's there. I mean, he's a really good impact player. But Von will be sort of happy enough to see him get a start as well because it's good to just see some of these young guys, who have come to the grades, and make us give them, find a spot for themselves. But obviously we'll be talking next week hopefully after Teamless Tuesday, maybe before. We're just still trying to figure out what day we'll be recording. But yeah, I mean, just still plenty of action this weekend to look forward to if there's no Warriors. So we do a little quick round of tips.
yeah. Why not? Why not? Go for it, mate.
Just to recap on last weekend, we both had the Warriors, so we lost. I picked the Sharks, you picked the Panthers. So yeah, once again, Panthers, you talked about it before, they just keep winning, They just know how to win.
They know how to win.
I mean, the Sharks look pretty good. I think we both had the Sharks in the top four from memory now. Now lineups for the year. I think that from what I saw on the weekend, it doesn't make me think any less of them.
Before you continue, just very quickly, I actually didn't watch a lot of the game because I was a bit annoyed, as I mentioned. Went out to go do some content, and then there was no Warriors fans around, and I mean, understandably, but how because you said to watch the game, and I didn't. How did Fanua Blake do? Was he as menacing as always?
It was pretty good, man. Yeah, it was just he just smashing up the middle, just as post contact meters. He looked at home. He looked pretty happy to be there. So I think he'll end up being one of the best signings of the season, no doubt. And
no doubt.
I've already said a few people, few of the sort of the pros with their sort of tips for the Premiership and for Dally M. A few 2 or 3 people have tipped him to win the Dally M. So I think when he left, we both said, good luck to you. And I think he'll thanks for the memories because he was a huge addition to the club for many years. But he looks well comfortable there. But as for that Penrith team, as I said before, they just know how to win. When you look through, you can basically put 17 of players that they've lost in the last sort of 3 or 4 years. Just absolute quality 17 out of guys they've lost. But such is the system at the moment. They're just so good at bringing these new young guys in. Lindsay Smith, the front row, he had an absolutely massive game. Jack Cole played 6 at inside Cleary. He had a try assist, a couple of linebacker assists, lots of good players. So there's just something about being in that squad. There's obviously the way that they've just built it up over the years. Yeah, it must be quite nice being a Penrith fan at the moment, that's for sure.
Yeah, Cleary, just going on there, Cleary did say, not Nathan, Ivan, the coach, he was asked the question, in regards to, about the players that, they're not there anymore. He goes, I don't focus on the players that are not there. I focus on what I've got. Yes, and like you said, they just know what they're doing, and they just continue to produce amazing players, and that's what we both had. I think we both had them at second, didn't we? To finish second.
Yeah,
I know I did.
I definitely had my top four. Yeah, I think maybe I had them
Yeah.
third or fourth, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think they'll be there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And you think about last season, I think Cleary only played like 10 games last year. You know, like regular season games. So he only played out, and those still were there. And then if he's there for the finals, then you're gonna probably back them to go the whole way.
Oh, sorry.
Crazy.
I was just going to say, just came to my mind is we've mentioned this before, but like the Panthers, they were good despite the injury cloud, a lot of injuries they had to their squad, and they put a team out against the Warriors who were full of youngsters because we had no choice. There was just no one around. There were so many injuries, and we still got the win in Magic Round. You would think that would actually sort of give Webster a bit of a bit of thought to think, okay, I can trust these guys to do the job. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. I don't want to get in front of the tips. Yeah, that just came to my mind, thinking, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the time. I think it's tips time, John.
Yeah.
So yeah, Thursday night we've got the Roosters playing the Broncos in Sydney. You want to go first? We'll just go head to head.
Head to head. Okay, well, I was going to say Broncos 13 plus. They're easy for me. Broncos 13 plus.
I bet the Broncos as well. I think they look like they're back, and the Roosters could be a long season for them.
Yep.
Tigers, Knights, Friday night.
Tigers.
I'm gonna go with the Knights.
I think the Tigers are going to be different this year.
I do like the Tigers, but I'm just trying to be different sometimes. So.
Yeah.
Dolphins, Rabbits.
Right.
Wayne Bennett coaching against his old team. And Bennett back for the Rabbitohs.
I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to the Rabbitohs here.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the Wayne Bennett factor, I'd be quite happy to bet the Dolphins without Latrell, without Cam Murray. But
agree.
Wayne Bennett will know what to do. He's tempered. Dragons Dogs are up next. Dragons Dogs.
Yeah, the Doggies by 12.
I'm going to go to the Dragons there, actually. I quite like a few of the off-season signings.
All right.
Seagulls versus the Cowboys.
Hard one to pick, but just purely the fact, just on home ground advantage, I'll go with the Seagulls. 1-12.
Seagulls as well. And Storm v Eels to finish us off on Sunday. Sunday
evening. I'm sure you know my answer, mate. So, yes.
Eels 13 plus.
No. Storm 13 plus. I think Storm will just rip them apart. Yeah.
I like the Storm as well. So, yeah, we've got a couple on the different side of a few of the games there. So we'll see how we go. And John, you're taking the lead and tipping for the first time in probably about a year. So,
far out.
You're up 1-0. So
that just shows. That's just that shows the faith that I had in the Warriors, and obviously didn't pay off. But it didn't pay off last season. But look, before we finish up, there was just wanted to just bring up some news. Richard Ayer, the assistant coach for the Warriors. Yeah, a bit of a throat grab on one of the journalists. Apparently, I don't know the full details, but apparently he's been that's what got into a bit of a. I don't know if it was not sure if it was a scuffle or not, but something happened, and this Vegas seems to bring up the worst in people when it comes to scuffles in rugby league. Especially the Cowboys as well.
It was pretty. It sounds pretty wild. Just it happened at half time as well, didn't it? So it's kind of seems very, very random. But
it was with the Guardian.
There's some history there, I think. Yes.
Yes, that's the thing. There was a journalist from the Guardian who apparently he's had some history with. So I don't know what happened there, but obviously he's pissed him off and he's going to grab him by the throat. So,
yeah. We all were a bit frustrated there, weren't we? So we can understand the frustration.
Oh, I mean, the frustration for us, but my wife was loving it. I mean, when I came back home on Sunday yesterday, she said, start saving up for that Springboks jersey. So just for context, if you don't know what I'm talking about, my wife just said to me one day, before the season started, she said, babe, the Warriors aren't making the top 8. And I was just very, very angry about that. And I just said, well, I'll bet you will. And she was, okay, if the Warriors make the top 8, if they don't make the top 8, sorry, because she's South African, she said, you have to wear a Springboks jersey to the All Blacks Springboks game. And she wants me to also have it printed on the back, all the World Cups that they won as well. So the years that they won. So yeah, she's going all in on this, and she just believes that it's all going to happen. So I took the bet because I've got the faith. I'm keeping the faith that the Warriors are going to make the top 8. But yeah.
I believe in you, John. I believe you'll be right. Does she have to do anything when she knows this? Does she have to wear an All Blacks jersey or something?
No, I mean, because she's actually got a new All Blacks top. She likes wearing it sometimes, so that doesn't affect her. I have to find something that's just gonna deter her, that's gonna really annoy her. I mean, probably a Warriors jersey, and say, and maybe I love the Warriors on the back or something. I don't know. I have to think of something, but
yeah, maybe get like a Warriors duvet cover or something like that. I'm sure she'll be into that.
I'm going to do that anyway. Good idea. I'm going to do that anyway. But look, I think it's time, mate. I think it's time we wrap this all up. Is if you've been listening to the show, which I hope you have been, look, we're just giving our takes on the dreadful game that the Warriors played on the weekend. Concerns all around the park. The team wasn't gelling. And it, like I said earlier on, felt like a continuation of 2024, the Warriors of 2024. I'm hoping it's not a new season, same old Wars situation. I hope it's not going to be that. I really hope not. But going on this game, yeah, who knows? But, that game happened in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So let that game stay in Vegas and not intrude over here in this part of the world, and let us start again, and let's continue our journey towards the top 8 this year. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm with you there, brother. I'm with you there.
Yep. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Nah. Just shout out to all the listeners. My old man texted the other day, said you guys are very knowledgeable and that he's a big fan. So if he's listening again, cheers for listening, Mike. We appreciate the support. Yeah, cheers to everyone who's been giving us a listen and sending through a few comments. It all means a lot.
Yep. And saying that, let me give one shout out to Adrian Hefford. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He's actually one of the guys that was actually at the Four Kings, and I spoke to him after. We was having a chat, and even he said to me that he had booked one of the booths in there a month in advance because he just thought that the place would be fizzing with Warrior supporters, which I thought as well. So I'm not giving him crap here. I'm actually agreeing with him. And we were just having a talk outside. We said we couldn't believe how bad the game was. We were just talking about how bad the game was, how dismal it was, how much of a calamity it was. But also we were just talking about like how we just couldn't understand why the sports bar was not packed out, especially considering all the hype towards this game. It's the first game of the season in Vegas. I just thought it would be it would be hard to move in there. But like I said, I walked in there, I was the first one in there. No one around me. The barman was actually, I spoke to the barman, and even he said he was quite shocked about that. But anyway, so shout out to Adrian Hefford. And he told me he would subscribe straight away, and he did. So shout out to Adrian. Yeah. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our channels. And on a quick note, we are going to be changing our name. We've finally decided on a name change. Who knows? It could be another name change in the next 6 months. I don't know the way we go at the moment. But we're going to be changing it to Laz and Laddie. That's being obviously my last name, Lasoron, called Laz and Richard Laddie, the bandwagon conductor. So we're going to be changing our name. And we're going to stick to this.
We'll see how we feel next week,
We'll see how next week. Love it. All right, guys. Catch you later, and we'll see you next week.
Ciao.